How understanding your customer can launch your brand out of this galaxy. Literally. Let's talk about the world's strongest coffee. Death Wish. Let's go.
What's up, everyone? Sean Azari here. I'm with Matt Skopak.
What's going on, everyone?
Welcome to Deep Dive episode 25, where we take businesses like Death Wish Coffee and we dissect into their marketing and business strategies such that you can take away these strategies and start implementing them into your business so you can start scaling. And wow, Skopak, this is like our fifth coffee.
Yeah,
we talked about super coffee. We talked about, well, Frank Body was a coffee scrub.
Yep.
Who else? Bulletproof. Now we got Death Wish.
I don't know. Experts. We're
There's
talking experts in the coffee industry.
Yeah, I think we should start a coffee brand. I think this is the thing. This is what everyone's doing. Anyway, so these guys started, I believe, in 2012. The founder and CEO is Mike Brown. We'll give a little bit of context before we dive into these points. He started actually in a coffee shop by just listening to his customers and realized there was I guess more of a missing category. It was more like I would think
people come into their shop and be like, oh, I've had a bad day, or I need a wake-up call this morning, and just give me something strong. And he was like, well, do they mean strong taste or strong in terms of caffeine? So what he said is basically he combined two types of coffee beans, Robusta, I believe it's called, and Arabica beans, and he created this awesome brand called Death Wish Coffee.
I mean, to be honest, it is the number 2 consumed beverage out there after water. Yep. So
and then
there's obviously a trend.
Commodity in the world behind oil.
Yeah. So let's start diving into these marketing business strategies and start scaling away.
Yes. Number 1, PR events create rapid growth. And Death Wish is a great example that you can take away for your business. So Death Wish had really 2 big PR events that really grew and made them explode. First was when they first launched a couple months after Good Morning America contacted Mike. He was in Saratoga, New York, where his coffee shop was, and they became very interested and wanted to feature them on their Good Morning America show. After that, that was really the first time that kind of brought this mom and pop coffee shop into the limelight, and they probably gained about thousands, they said probably 4,000 or 5,000 orders, which basically launched them into the spotlight. That kind of made them start acting like a business, hiring other people, come up with a supply chain. And the second huge event is 2016, they won the Intuit small business competition where over 15,000 businesses enter, and they won basically the best small brand, which they received the Super Bowl.
Intuit is spelled Intuit.
Yep, they make QuickBooks, they make different software that small businesses can use. They won the competition and they won a Super Bowl ad during the 2016 Super Bowl, which basically launched their brand into the big boys territory. After their commercial, they were doing $2,000 in sales a minute and did over about 250,000 sales in the hour after that ad. But not only that, it helped grow their wholesale presence. They went from being in 7 stores to being in the 150 stores, and their brand just kind of took off from there. So the point that we need to take away is these kind of PR events that you do, interviews, Good Morning America, or any maybe Forbes magazine, these not only help grow revenue and brand awareness, but they also help you get into wholesale channels that you might not have got into without doing them. Different things happen from these events. Don't think it's only revenue, and that's why it's important to really go out there and promote yourself in different areas and PR events.
Let's go back. So just let's clarify here. When you talk about events, are we talking about like if your brand aligns with maybe Coachella? Is that
It doesn't have to be just an event. It can be an advertisement online with maybe Forbes magazine or Times magazine or any paper or any online publisher or blog, interview, podcast. It could be Coachella. It could be any event or any PR that's going to really drive brand awareness and engagement from customers and being seen. That's really where I met, and that's very important, especially as a small business, especially e-commerce.
Love it. Number 2, using memes to drive to your sales pitch or also build up brand loyalty. So if you go actually on your Instagram, Facebook page, you'll see tons of memes, and people always say like, why are you having memes? Why? First of all, what do people share? memes, anything that relate to them. So they line it back to their product. This is what we've done in the past with Sweet Berry. You'll see Chipotle does this all the time. So one of the, actually, I'll pull it up if you're watching this on YouTube. One of their memes is they're using Jack Nicholson from The Shining, and it's like before coffee and after coffee. And then when you swipe left, it's actually hilarious if you like look at the image. You swipe left and then you see the coffee, their product, being basically indirectly being sold to the user, where they're tagging the product and so forth. So they're drawing attention by using a meme. So people are sharing the meme, right? But when people swipe left, what is it? It's their product, which when they click on it, because you could tag products on Instagram if you set up your catalog correctly, so they could drive traffic right directly to your website, unless you set up with now, actually, you can actually shop directly with Instagram if you set it up properly. So if you could use memes to build up your brands, add some humor, maybe hire a comedian. We talked about this. A lot of brands do this. They hire a comedian as their copywriter, and which help them obviously drive more sales because you're relating more to the audience. People love to laugh. I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, it's more about brand awareness, right?
Yep.
It's not about really creating sales. It's
Well,
about,
no, but
it
they are
does.
for that, like that example.
Unintentionally, though, it's not an advertisement. It's you're creating brand awareness and almost
Which ultimately leads to
virality.
sales.
Yeah, which also leads to it. But that's definitely a good point. And we talked about before, and we've seen a lot of the brands we've done do that. So number 3, promote and optimize your products on Amazon. So Death Wish Coffee is actually a huge user and a huge proponent on Amazon. They're actually the #1 selling coffee on Amazon. And what they really do, they sell most of their products on there. They use a couple strategies really to be successful. So they use strong AdWords in all the categories that you basically can search for in coffee. So if you look at the K-Cups, they have maybe 5 different AdWords right in their subject in the title line. They also have different types of coffee, the beans in it. So whatever, if you produce on Amazon, which I think this is very important.
It's also very important for products that are very essential to human behavior. Like it's an everyday thing, everyday essentials, right?
Of course.
Like when you say, hey, Alexa, please actually don't have an Alexa right next to me. I need more coffee. Can you purchase for me? Hello, you want to be the top one being shown
that come up
yes.
on Amazon.com. So they definitely are. They're #1. But we think this is extremely important, as Amazon's only going to grow, and it's basically its own almost internet in itself, an e-commerce marketplace. So not only using your e-commerce site, but maybe if you are going to go on Amazon, you need to have strong strategies to make sure you rank high. So strong AdWords is huge. Second, strong pictures and videos. Amazon, a lot of people are doing it mobilely, so the descriptions and whatnot are not as important as the pictures and the videos of what your brand are. So make sure...
Just like on a website.
Just on the website, but Amazon, I think it's even more important. So have strong website, have a strong brand, and let people need to know exactly what the product is.
Have a strong, you mean Amazon landing page.
Yeah, exactly. No,
you could actually also create, by the way, an Amazon landing page where it's just like dedicated to you, which is just as important. I have actually a client that does this, where it's like actually it's Safavia. It's their own landing page. You can see all their products and so forth.
Of course, yeah, their own like brand landing page. Yep, exactly. So those are really some of the strong proponents. Death Wish actually does 50% of their e-commerce sales on Amazon. So that's probably around 5 to 6 million that they did, or maybe 4 to 5 million just in 2019. So now with the future moving towards Amazon, everyone knows it's going there. If you're going to go on there, you have to be smart about how to use Amazon strategically, using AdWords, and go from there.
It depends on your brand, right? If your margins aren't there, it might not be a good idea to go back. So you gotta know if you're manufacturing a product, your margins are high. Yes, that's a great outlet to go, especially if your consumer is there shopping every day for products like this, like toothpaste, like toilet paper. These are products that people need every day. They go on Amazon, and it's not like a brand specific thing, right? So, but this is something like, this is the world's strong. This is a powerful coffee. This is gonna show up. They want to be #1 on Amazon. So, but again, you got to also be careful. Amazon knows if your product is selling high, right, they can just take it away. They can recreate it and make it much cheaper
Amazon
and resell it. So it's what's really, really important. It's not just selling the product. It's
creating
the brand. The brand, it's everything. That is where consumers will come to you, come to your site. Like Amazon could also be used as just building brand awareness.
We've talked about this, how
yeah.
some companies don't put all SKUs on Amazon. They
Untuck
only
it.
put the high, maybe margin items basically on Amazon just so people see it. They're like, oh, this is interesting. Let me go to their website. That's how I know some supplement companies do that. So that's another strategy behind it. But make sure that your product is a good fit for Amazon as well as your brand when you go that route.
Awesome. Numero cuatro. Is it cuatro?
Number 4. Uno, dos, tres.
Number 4, use forums to promote your business. Death Wish uses actually, I mean, they could possibly use other forums, but I noticed they advertise on producthunt.com, which is a website for anybody really that uses products, apps, or like tech stuff every day, where you can see like new stuff that are coming out. It's very kind of similar. I mean, it's a little different to another website called AppSumo, where you see like the newest apps that are being created by other entrepreneurs and so forth that help other users with their everyday things. I saw that they put up a video there. Their consumer base is there as well, so they're leveraging other outlets besides real life events, besides social media and so forth. And these outlets may help you reach a lot more people. Where you could do, I believe when you go on Product Hunt's website, right, you could say it says somewhere advertise with us, which you could apply for and so forth. Also, there's another forum which a lot of people are familiar with. I think it's Reddit.
Of course,
Right?
yeah.
You could advertise on Reddit if your consumer base is there, especially if you're building like products like toys and stuff, or like funny stuff, like those what's that fuck Jerry created? It was that play card stuff. People want drunk games. We're playing drunk game stuff.
Not
It's another
Habitat
outlet.
for Humanity. That's a type.
Yeah.
Was it that one?
I think so, something like that.
Habitat
But
for Humanity.
those are type of products that would be great for like Reddit.
Yep.
I mean, you got to depend where is your audience and how you could use other outlets like forums
Yep.
to promote your business, and coming up with creatives and also copy of how to advertise on that platform. So don't use obviously a creative that's being used on Instagram, or perhaps you can, but repurpose it in such a way that it works on that forum and speaks to that audience.
And that's one thing you said that we should really highlight, because that's what our subject was, is I think in the beginning, Death Wish actually thought like their product was for lawyers or really business people or that kind of
They were
crowd.
actually creating content based on like the everyday lawyer that
Like a
wakes
lawyer
up
sitting
tired.
at his desk, like drinking a coffee or something, and he needed a coffee. And actually, it turned out that wasn't really their customer base. It was like
they realized-
rock bands, athletes, extreme sports, maybe a couple engineers and things like that. So they understood, and they kind of then started going a different route in terms of their creatives and things like that. But
Also hiring influencers.
they knew their
in
customer,
that,
exactly.
in that
So-
category.
Awesome. So number 5, use cross-selling to increase revenue and AOV. So this is super important as well. Death Wish does this very well. So they only sell right now coffee, but now, I guess in the beginning, they only sold coffee. Now they sell merchandise. And I think they do a really great job of this. They sell mugs, they sell tumblers, they sell bags, they sell shirts, hats, specialty items. They do special gifts for people, because I can see this as almost like a Chotsky gift as well. Like the world's
People,
strongest-
I listened to one of their, I don't know if it was a podcast or maybe one of their interview sessions with Google. They said people are actually tattooing Death Wish on
Yeah.
their bodies without even ever drinking Death Wish.
Yep.
Which is crazy, because they built that brand equity, they built that brand loyalty. Everyone knows about them. Plus, it's this sick design. I mean, look at this. It's
Yep.
like a nice skeleton and so
they've,
forth.
they've even created podcasts and whatnot. Like Death Wish, it's not only what their brand is. It's not only strong coffee, like, oh, it might kill you. Really, it is basically.
kill you?
No, it's not going to kill you.
That's the only reason I got it, man.
I don't think so. But the brand and the podcast talks about Death Wish is really about finding your purpose and understanding, like, this is the one thing I want to do before I die. Death Wish. And this is what this coffee and our brand wants our customers and everyone to do. So it's kind of the one thing, finding your purpose is really the purpose of Death Wish and the whole mentality behind it. But what they do is cross-selling. They have great gear. They have great secondary items that help them increase their revenue and their AOV. And it's a little bit different than Recess. Obviously, we know, me and Sean were talking, I wasn't high.
So Recess was the previous brand that we spoke about, and Scopac was so
CBD.
against them starting up a clothing line. I thought it was great. I mean, yeah, it kind of does. They still need to push. They need to make it more of a lifestyle brand, such that for that to make sense. Death Wish has done that through their podcast, through interviewing people, through people like and their design. Their design is cool. Like the skeleton,
Totally
people love
agree.
that. I have actually a lot of designs with skeleton as well for
I
Reborn.
I just think that recesses just went into clothing, and that's a hard comparison. A CBD drink in a can, and now clothing. Death Wish went a little bit of a different route, which I actually like. They're products that actually co-align with who they are. So coffee, they do coffee mugs, tumblers, they do limited time offer, presents, things like that. They also do have some gear, some clothing, some bags and things like that, which I think they can get away with. Obviously, coffee is a huge commodity, second in the world. So I like the way they do it. I'm not saying that recess it's not a good idea. It could fire away and it could become huge, and I could be absolutely wrong. I just see more of a correlation or a stronger cross-selling point with what they do, and it really helps. And if you have your own e-commerce business or online brand and you have only a few SKUs, you should really look into some type of cross-selling, either merchandise if it makes sense, or if you own a supplement company, they do shakers. So that kind of correlation is very important to help.
They
you grow
created
your
bundle. Did you talk
AOV.
about the bundle packs? They created bundle packs to increase
combos.
obviously,
We
yeah.
love combos here. Combos, add-on
We talked about in
items,
pricing strategies.
huge.
Yeah.
We love them. That's how you really increase your brand, your revenue, your AOV, which is your average order volume. So those are all great value. I said value. So those are really good things that you really need to do if you haven't started yet.
Number 6, use email marketing to build brand loyalty, not just revenue. So Death Wish Coffee actually uses, every Thursday, they repurpose their highest performing content, like anything that's was funny, hilarious, and they repurpose it into their email campaign, and they also incorporate their podcast. They add a title and so forth. And it's nothing to do with selling product. They also created another thing, and I forgot what it's called. On Monday, they also send out a newsletter and so forth.
Nothing selling the brand. They do it once a week, kind of like what Chubby's did when we talked about
Chubby's.
that.
And I think they actually learned this tactic from Chubby's.
Yeah.
I believe I heard that from one of the people on the team. They said they look for what other brands are doing successfully, and Chubby's does that. They call it the Weekender.
Yep.
Right?
That's all we
Where they
do.
just create newsletters that it's not selling the product at all. It has nothing to do with the product, but it aligns with the brand personality because they have a great, strong following and customer and so forth. They want to read that. It's informative and so forth. That keeps the brand in mind. So it's very important to do that. So use email marketing to what?
Go ahead.
Use email marketing to build brand loyalty, not just sales.
Yes, guys, and this is super important too. If your product that you sell is not a occurrence that happens weekly or maybe monthly, being in touch with your customers on a weekly basis is huge, and that's why Death Wish really did it. I mean, customers might buy their coffee maybe monthly or every other month, but they still want their brand to be in front of their customers on a weekly basis, if not on a daily basis. So that's why they create the brand. They have the short videos, they have the podcast, they have the newsletters, they have the other email with their content that goes out on Thursdays. They are constantly communicating and in their customer's face and aligning themselves with who they are. So huge, definitely another point. Sean and I love this company.
Love it. I got number 7.
I love Death Wish. Oh, you got 7?
I got a 7. I think it's great because
Bonus.
everyone's always talking about how to create more content and so forth. So when you're creating content, create behind the scenes, right? So use behind the scenes as content itself. So one of their pieces of content that I saw, and which I love, and it's hilarious, they're showing the behind the scenes of a commercial they were making or a YouTube piece of content, and it's just hilarious. I love doing that for Reborn. I love showing behind the scenes. People are always struggling. What should I show on IG stories? Behind the scenes. People want to know what you're doing. So if you're making mistakes and so forth, people want to learn more about the brand itself, who's behind the brand. So if you're like a hustler, if you are working your butt off to create something better for the customer, show that. Show the process. People want to see that process, especially on YouTube and IGTV series and so forth. So these outlets are letting you to speak your mind, speak your truth that help you differentiate from obviously bigger brands like Folger. It's not a big coffee company. Folger and so forth. So you want to differentiate. Like Folger is just a big brand.
Starbucks.
There's no person behind it.
Starbucks is a better.
I guess Starbucks, that's more of a chain.
Yeah.
That's a little kind of different, but yes, they have their coffee brand as well. But you want to put your face. That's what's going to differentiate. What is different about your company? You. So remember that, and that's how you're going to scale. You can't beat these companies, especially when you're starting out with nothing. It's really hard.
Yeah.
It's hard. But if you differentiate, people want to buy from people at the end of the day. So That's my takeaway there.
All right, I think we're all set.
Guys, I hope you liked this episode. If you did, give us a thumbs up button. If you're watching this on YouTube, subscribe. If you're hearing this on iTunes, Spotify, on Amazon as well. What else? Google, I think Google Podcast.
All over, anywhere.
All over. Give us a review. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, you could tweet us. You got @mscopac. You got @Sean_Azari. You can shoot us an email as well, or leave anything in the comments. So we hope you liked it. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will see you next week on Deep Dive.
Peace out, guys.
Peace.